Hello students, in this lecture of Industrial Organization Management, we are going to study about what business actually means, what are the sectors of businesses and what are the types of businesses. So let's start with the lecture. So these are the major learning of outcomes of the lecture. After the successful completion of the lecture, a student must be able to define the business, that is what actually business means, must classify the businesses into different types, define business sectors and explain different types of business sectors. So what business actually means? Remember, business can be defined in n number of ways. Definition of business can be varied from person to person according to his own knowledge. Here the definition of business is given as an organized efforts by certain persons whom we can call as entrepreneurs, firms or enterprises to supply the consumers with goods and services. So basically, business is the provision of goods and services to consumers in order to earn the profit. So this is a general definition of business. Remember, the objective of business is to earn the profit from the business. But in some cases, only the provision of goods and services are what they matters. Just like in case of some non-profit organizations, where the only motto is to provide the services and not to earn the money in order to serve the community. So here is another definition of business. It's stated as business is an organized economic activity wherein the exchange of goods and services takes place for adequate consideration. Business includes all those activities whose sole aim is to make available the desired goods and services to the society in effective manner. So these are the examples of goods and services. Examples of goods are TV, refrigerator, electric goods, clothes, etc. And examples of services are repair shops for the goods sold, hospitals, garages, educational institutions, etc. So what actually goods and services means? Here is the basic difference between goods and services. Goods are physical and they can be touched and feel. Goods can be produced in factory, they can be stored, goods can be standardized and can be of the same standards. Standardization means if a product is manufactured in India, then its all properties, dimensions are same in any other part of the world. So goods can be counted and goods can own the goods and people can own the goods after buying. That is, people are the owner of the goods after buying them. What are services? So services cannot be felt but can be experienced. Services can be provided and experienced at the same time. For example, if a vehicle is punctured, then the service provider, that is the mechanic, is providing the service to the customer and the same customer is experiencing the service at the same time. Services can be tailor-made or customized but may not be experienced in the same way. Services cannot be counted and they cannot be owned or bring back. So business is a system created to satisfy the needs and desires of the people or society. Person engaged in business either produce, that is manufacture, or distribute, that is trading, or render services to the consumers of their goods, that are services. So business involves the following activities, which are financing, manpower, buying, selling and earning profit. So what are the characteristics of businesses? So business characteristics are economic activity, production or purchase of goods and services, selling of goods and services, continuity in dealings, profit earning, element of risk, uncertain return, legal and lawful, and consumer satisfaction. Let us study each characteristics in detail. So business is an economic activity. That is, business is an economic activity as it is conducted with the primary objective of earning money, that is for an economic motive. Next one is production or purchase of goods and services. Goods and services are produced or procured by business entities so as to add value and sell them to the consumers. Goods are either manufactured by the company or procured from the supplier with the aim of selling it further to the consumer for profit. Next one is selling of goods and services. Business must involve the transfer of goods to the customer for value through selling, meaning that if the goods are acquired for personal consumption, then the transaction will not be amount to business activity. Next one is continuity in dealings. Every business requires regularity in transaction. That is, an isolated transaction of exchange of goods or services will not be considered as business. So to constitute business, the dealings must be carried out on regular basis. Profit earning. The basic purpose of business is to make the profit from its activities. It is the spine of business which keeps the business going in the long term. Element of risk. Risk is the key element of every business concerned with exposure to loss. Efforts are made to forecast future events and plan the business strategies accordingly. However, the factors that affect business are uncertain, and so does the business opportunities, which can be shift in demand, floods, fall in prices, strikes, lockout, money market fluctuation, etc. Next characteristic is uncertain return. In business, the return is never predictable and guaranteed. That is, the amount of money which the business is going to reap is not certain. It may be possible that the business earns a huge profit or suffer heavy losses. Business must be legal and lawful. No matter in which type of business the company is engaged, it should be legal in eyes of the law, or else it will not be considered as business. And last one is consumer satisfaction. The aim of business is to supply goods and services to consumers so as to satisfy their wants. As when the consumer, that is final user, is satisfied, he or she will purchase the goods or services. But if they are not, there are chances that they will look for substitute. So next point is business sectors. So business sectors are those activities needed to meet the needs of customers simply by providing goods and services required. So business sectors can be classified into three types, that are primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. So let us study each sector in detail. So primary sector. This is a business activity that obtains raw material from nature, for example from earth or sea, through collection, cultivation or extraction. Primary sector provides the input to secondary sector. It consists of all the natural resources that is essential for the secondary sector to process and to manufacture. It creates wealth for some countries and can be cash crops, as it is vital and traded globally to fuel the secondary sector which is expanding. Primary sector can be classified into agricultural, fisheries, mining and forestry. Next one is secondary sector. Manufacturing and industry sector known as the secondary sector, sometimes as the production sector. It includes all the branches of human activities that transform raw material into products or goods. Secondary sector processes raw materials from the primary sector and supplies it to the tertiary sector. Input is used to manufacture products by means of production processes. The result of this sector is called as output. Manufacturer can include a manufacturing of semi-finished products that are sold to manufacturer or customer. Semi-finished products can be further used in productions of goods or finished products such as metal sheets used to make tin cans. And last sector of the business is tertiary sector. The tertiary sector of industry involves the provision of services to other businesses as well as final consumer. Activities in this sector include bringing the products from the secondary sector to the end customers. Transport of people, communications and many other services such as education, health, banking and administration are included in tertiary sector of the business. So these are the activities which are included in the tertiary sector. So there are some financial activities like bank related services. There are media related activities including press, radios, internet and televisions. There are some services related to tourism, trade and transport. It also includes personal services like mechanic, plumber, etc. So let us see how these three sectors are related or interlinked with each other. Consider the process of manufacturing. Consider the process of manufacturing of table and chairs. So this process includes the cutting and extracting woods from tree. So this is a primary sector of business which extracts woods from the trees. Next process is to manufacture chair and tables from the wood which is supplied by the primary sector, and secondary sector manufactures woods from primary sector into chairs and tables. Chairs and tables manufactured by secondary sector is supplied to the end customer through transport by tertiary sector. So this is how primary, secondary and tertiary sector of businesses are interlinked to each other. Now let us move to the types of businesses. There are three types of business, namely as manufacturing, trading and services. So let us study each in detail. The first type of business is manufacturing. Manufacturing engineering or processes are the steps through which raw materials are transformed into final products. This comes under secondary sector of the business, where raw material is transferred into final useful products. Manufacturing is the production of products for use or sale using labor and machines, tools, chemical and biological processing or formulation, and is the essence of secondary industry. Manufacturing sector is closely connected with engineering and industrial design. So here are some major manufacturing industries in India are given, namely as Tata Motors, Indian Oil, Micromax, Jindal Steel and Power, Reliance Industries, etc. So second type of business is trading. Trading is an important economic area which is the part of service sector in India. The trading sector is responsible for making various products available to the customers. In this sector, for operating, one must have the power to influence the market and have a pulse on what the people want. A trading company or sector is a business that works with different kinds of products for consumer, businesses or government purposes. In contemporary times, trading companies buy a specialized range of products, broker them and coordinate delivery of product to customers. Trading businesses may include two different types of sellers, including retailers who sell inventory to the general public and wholesalers who sell merchandise to other businesses at a reduced rate. These are some example of trading sectors in India: Tata Consultancy Services, ITC Limited, Reliance Industries, HDFC Bank, State Bank, Infosys, Eicher, Indian Railways, etc. Last sector is service sector. The service sector consists of production of services instead of end products. Services, also known as intangible goods, include attention, advices, access, experience and affective labor. Services may involve the transport, distribution and sale of goods from producer to a consumer, as may happen in wholesaling and retailing or entertainment. The goods may be transformed in the process of providing the service, as happens in the restaurant industries. So these are the service sector related activities. The service sector covers a wide array of activities. Services provided by most sophisticated sectors like telecommunications, satellite and computer software. It also includes simple services like those performed by barber, carpenter and plumber. Also includes highly capital intensive activities like civil aviation and shipping. Employment oriented activities like tourism, real estate and housing. Service sector also included activities related to infrastructure like railways, roadways and ports. Social sector related activities like health and education. These are the some service related activities. First we can see here that these are the services related to hotels and resorts. So these are services related to communication. This is related to banking. These are related with the real estate, and these are related with the transport. Thank you.